What's up, guys? Coming to you today with Week 14 college football action on a packed Saturday of NCAA football here on November 29th. We're going to cover a bunch of the biggest games of the day, and I'll give you my massive lock of the day and my favorite underdog pick of the day, so slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and personnel changes coming in at the last second. Yesterday, guys, looking like a bit of an up and down day. Got off to a rough start there. We had the Eagles at -7. We were on the wrong side there. The turnovers once again sink the Eagles in their 24-15 loss without the stellar running game they showed last season, which has been absent this year so far. This team is not looking nearly as dangerous, and issues just keep popping up everywhere for them on both sides of the ball. Despite the Bears having a pretty good game, Caleb Williams could not get over on his passing yards. A pretty dismal performance from him in terms of completion percentage, only completing 17 out of 36 passes. They ran the ball for 281 yards, so that really messed us up there. Thought the Eagles would be able to slow down the run. Turned out they could not. On the college football side, we cashed Air Force -2.5. That should have been our lock of the day, apparently, as the Falcons came out and dominated, going up 14-0 in the first quarter and never looking back in that 42-21 win over a pretty terrible Colorado State squad that just isn't doing too much right. We still have Arizona live at -1.5. That game is very, very early on right now, so we'll see who comes out on top in that Arizona versus Arizona State game. We cashed our dog of the day once again. We had Georgia Tech +14, and that is back-to-back winners on our dog of the day, with the Bengals getting the straight-up win for us there on Thanksgiving. Georgia Tech playing a very close game here against Georgia on Friday, a 16-9 game. That is exactly what we were looking for here, getting 2 full touchdowns. So that one felt great. Unfortunately, we bricked our lock of the day. We had Jalen Hurts under 0.5 interceptions. He's been doing a great job taking care of the ball. Did not do that today whatsoever. Of course, the guy who never gets picked off, or at least hadn't in a very long time, finds a way to throw an interception as soon as we end up siding with him to not get picked off. So that was pretty annoying. Still got a good chance at a 3-3 day, which is obviously not what we're aiming for. Let's see if we can bounce back a little bit. We've got a big day of very exciting college football action here. We're covering all the biggest games, so we're going to go ahead and get after it right now. Getting right off to a good start here with a barn burner. We've got the number 12 Miami Hurricanes going on the road to take on the number 22 Pittsburgh Panthers. Miami comes into this game 9-2 on the season. They're fresh off a 34-17 win there at Virginia Tech, so well played there. They've won 3 in a row and haven't let any of those games be competitive. That's all after they had that major hiccup losing there at SMU 26-20. In their win at Virginia Tech last week, they took care of business early, did a good job there, 20-3 there at halftime. We liked what we saw from Carson Beck, a vintage Carson Beck game, 27 of 32, 320 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns. The running game was fine, wasn't really the focus there. They were just throwing it, and it was working. Slinging it for Carson Beck works a lot of the time. Every once in a while, have one of those insane games where he throws to the other team a ton, but in this one, he looked very, very good. Lots of big days there. Tony, crazy day there catching the ball. Great day. 12 receptions for 146 yards and a touchdown. Great work there. They did not turn the ball over in this game. That's very, very important. A great look there, and the defense looked good. They only gave up 17 points in the game. Really messed up the passing game there of Virginia Tech. They did give up 194 rushing yards, but it took the Hokies 37 carries to get those 194 rushing yards. So definitely not a bad day. They also forced 1 turnover, so not like a major turnover day there for the Hurricanes, but that effort was enough to get them up into number 12 in the nation. So a pretty big deal there for the Hurricanes. They'll definitely take it. Their defense has looked really good over the course of the season. They're 7th in college football, giving up only 14.5 points per game. That is very, very solid stuff. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They're going on the road to take on a pretty tough opponent here in the Pittsburgh Panthers. Pitt, they're 8-3 on the season. They're ranked 22nd in the nation, coming off that big 42-28 blowout win there at Georgia Tech last week. A crazy work there. Very well played by Pitt. This is a team we've liked a decent amount at different points this season, but we'll see what they can do here against an actual premium opponent. Last week against what looked like a pretty good Georgia Tech team, we loved what we saw from Heischel. 2 touchdown passes, 126 yards. A very good day there. Turner just went bonkers. He had 21 carries for 201 yards and 1 touchdown, with his longest rush being for 56 yards. He was just churning out gain after gain after gain. It was very impressive stuff. They did not turn over the ball in this entire game. It was just a very, very solid performance there offensively from Pittsburgh, and the defense was great as well. A couple interceptions gathered there. Gave up 257 passing yards, 121 yards on the ground, but it took them 33 carries to get those 121 yards. a very, very solid day there defensively for Pittsburgh. So they are coming off of a big win. We'll see if they can carry that momentum over. Over the course of the season, they're 62nd in the nation, giving up 23.7 points per game. So that is something that does a little bit make me just a tiny bit nervous. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Panthers are getting 7 points at home. We've got a total of 49.5 in this game. Miami is 6-5 against the spread this year. Pittsburgh is 8-3 against the spread, but regardless of that, we're going to take Miami here at -7. The Hurricanes have a lot on the line in this road matchup against Pittsburgh, and the Canes need a win in style here to give them their best shot at making a run at the playoff. Miami has picked up 3 straight wins in blowout fashion, but these all came against manageable ACC opponents. Miami needs a strong resume-building win, and this is, this is a comparison game with Notre Dame beating Pitt on the road by a final 37-15 just a couple weeks ago. Pitt got off an unbelievably strong start in their last outing there against Georgia Tech, but we don't love how the Panthers closed out their win in the final 3 quarters. We just don't believe this Pitt squad is ready for prime time, and Miami brings in the clear edge on both sides of the ball. Take Miami to come through here for us with a big win and cover. Next up, guys, we're going to be looking at the Houston Cougars going on the road to take on the Baylor Bears. Houston, they're 8-3 on the season after that 17-14 pretty disappointing loss there against TCU. They've gone 1-2 over their last 3 games. That hasn't been great, that big loss there against West Virginia, so we'll see what they can do down the stretch. Houston has not been playing their best ball here recently. They've had some very solid performances, had some big wins, took down one ranked opponent this season. We'll see what they can do here heading to Baylor. Now, against TCU, they only managed 14 points. Not a great look. The passing game was okay, I guess. Maybe that's a little bit generous, honestly. It was not amazing. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, only 161 yards through the air. The running attack looked much, much better. 230 yards on 40 carries is not bad. 0 rushing touchdowns, though. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't fumble it away. They did throw 1 interception, though. And when you only put up 14 points in a college football game, like that is, you didn't have a great time. You did not have a great time. They were also down 14-0 after the first quarter. Did not get off to a very hot start there. So didn't love a lot of what we saw offensively from Houston. Defensively, they were okay. Ish. They did get gifted some interceptions there. Had 3 interceptions in the game. Forced a total of 4 turnovers and still managed to win, or still managed to lose. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. They gave up 239 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns. Also gave up 133 yards on the ground. I mean, they did a good job of forcing turnovers, but none of that was enough. The offense just was not getting the job done well enough for that to equate to a win. So that is certainly not a great look. Definitely worrying stuff there from Houston. We'll see what they can do in this one. Over the course of the season, they've been decent. 41st in the nation, giving up 21.5 points per game. That's not bad. 80th in passing yards, though, doesn't get us too jonesed up for this squad. So we'll see what they can do here. They're going on the road to take on the Baylor Bears, who are 5-6 on the season. They're coming off of a blowout loss there at Arizona, losing 41-17. So not a great look there. A couple tough performances back to back, but they're back home for this one. That should certainly help. Going up against a Houston team that's not having a great time either should be a bit helpful as well. The Bears in that loss did not look good. Sawyer Robertson, a bad day. 162 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The running game was killing it, 181 yards and 1 rushing touchdown, so that's a good look. Definitely something they're hoping can carry over to this game. After the Cougars did look a little bit vulnerable there to the run, the defense was not really doing anything, guys. They gave 41 points, could not really stop the rush, giving up some, just giving up positive rushing yards every single time Arizona tried to run the ball against them. Baylor turned the ball over 3 times and only created a single turnover of their own. That's not usually going to be a recipe for tons of success. So we'll see if they've got a bounce back in them. I do think that's definitely a possibility, especially playing back at home. Over the course of the season, their defense has been bad, but their offense has just been so good. They're 3rd in the nation in passing yards per game, so definitely in for a monster bounce back performance here, especially playing at home. Houston is, they come into this game getting 2.5 points in this one. Baylor's -2.5 home. We got a total of 57.5 in this one. Houston's 7-4 against the spread. Baylor only 2-9 against the spread this season. Do we really think the odds makers are going to get another one wrong here on the Baylor Bears? Guys, we're going to take Baylor here at home at -2.5. Houston's been trending in the wrong direction, losing 2 of their last 3 games with less than ideal upset losses coming at home over the past month against West Virginia and TCU. Houston's already bowl eligible with 8 wins. The Cougars are out of the running at this point for the Big 12 title game, which puts a lot less importance. In this matchup, Baylor brings in the clear edge on the offensive side of the ball, 21st in the nation yards per contest, and we see the Bears offense being the difference maker here for the home team. Baylor should also feel like they have more on the line. The Bears need to win in this one to reach bowl eligibility. It's been a disappointing season for Baylor, but the Bears have at times shown a high ceiling, and we expect to see the best version of Baylor in a big time matchup like this. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, and college basketball picks. We're coming off a very big day, a ton of premium action out there over a plethora of different sporting events. It's a great time to get on board, and it is the cheapest time all year long to get on board over here at StumpTheSpread.com. All of our premium pick packages are at drastically reduced rates here for Black Friday. Also, you can add on to your current membership at the same discounted rate. It just stacks on to the end of whatever you're signed up for. If you're signed up for 2 weeks and you buy a month here at a super discounted rate, it just gets put on to the end there of your 2 weeks. You would have 6 weeks now, of being a premium member. So definitely want to get in on that, guys. It is the best time of the year to get in on the action. So many picks every single day covering all the major sports, and a huge discount. So definitely want to get in on that. You also want to get over to StumpTheSpread.com and get on all the free stuff we offer. We've got a free use bet size calculator. Make sure you're not blowing your entire bankroll in 1 or 2 bad days. We also have a plethora of free picks posted over there in the free picks section on a daily basis. Definitely want to check out those, but maybe even more important than those 2 free things, get on that free email newsletter, guys. It's a fantastic resource every single day. There's free picks in there all the time. You get 1 email straight to your inbox every single day with at least 1 free pick. Parlays are included in there, information on niche sports betting like golf, tennis, NASCAR, and you definitely want to get signed up right away, because tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, we send out an email with a ton of NFL touchdown props, player props, parlays, different picks against the spread, some money line plays, like tons of great information in those emails every single day. And it's very easy to sign up, guys. You just click the link in the description or type StumpTheSpread.com into your browser of choice. You click that little green login button at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That'll prompt you to set up a free account. All they're going to ask you for is your name and your email address. That is it. That's all they're going to ask you for to set up a free account, and you'll get that email straight to your inbox with lots of great information every single day, especially on NFL Sunday. So you certainly want to not miss out on that. In terms of results for our premium picks here on a very busy Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, still a lot going on. Mississippi already cashed as a 2-unit play. The Bears, they were on the opposite side for me. Our premium NFL capper had the Bears plus 7.5. That one came through very easily. A tough little run there on some very small unit college basketball plays. Still trying to feel our way through the early part of the college basketball season, but lots of action still to be had on the NHL side. NBA still going, although the Pistons really let us down there. That was annoying, but the Suns are hanging tough, and they're getting 15.5 points, so I think they can keep that one attached. Texas A&M's making a comeback. Lots of great action there over on the premium side, so you definitely want to make sure you get in on that. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, get access to our members only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here every single week to one random channel member. The way it works, we take the list of all the channel members, we put it on a big wheel, we spin that wheel live on the video, guys. Every single Monday we do this. We spin it live on the wheel, and whoever it lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie mailed straight to their address of choice. So definitely want to get in on that if you are a YouTube channel member. So I appreciate all my channel members. Really makes me happy to see I've got like over 100, like something like 110 super fans in there. So really appreciate all of you. Let's get in on that giveaway here in just a couple days. But we got to go ahead and dive back in now, guys. We've got a very busy day of college football action to cover, and we're about to look at the biggest game of the day, the biggest rivalry game of the day. We've got the #1 Ohio State Buckeyes going on the road here to take on the #15 Michigan Wolverines. Ohio State comes into this game playing incredibly well. They just annihilated Rutgers last week, 42-9. That was after a 48-10 win there against UCLA. It has been a minute since they've played a truly tough opponent, knocking off Illinois in the middle of the season, 34-16, but they have just been annihilating everyone they face. There could be some question marks asked about how, their strength of schedule has been, but really, guys, they're playing well right now. No question about that. In that blowout win over Rutgers, it wasn't really even that much of a contest. They were up 14-3 at halftime and then just went nuts in the second half, outscoring the Scarlet Knights 28-6, and they were doing everything they want to do. They want to throw the ball, they can throw the ball very, very easily. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 176 yards through the air. Bo Jackson, another big day on the ground, 19 carries for 110 yards and a couple touchdowns there. As a team, they had 254 yards and 4 touchdowns in this game on 38 carries. Dominant stuff. They're doing whatever they want to do. They did fumble the ball away once, so they did turn it over one time in this game. Not a great look there, but their defense is so good it didn't even matter. They gave up only 9 points, held Rutgers to only 81 passing yards and 66 yards on the ground. That does account for a negative 23-yard run, but still, dominant stuff. They created a turnover, only one. When you only give up 9 points, how much better can you really play on the defensive side of the ball? Ohio State looking like a very, very scary team. They are first in the nation in defense, giving up only 7.6 points per game. They're also 11th in the nation, putting up 37.9 points per game. So it's been a crazy dominant year there for Ohio State. We'll see what they can do here, going on the road to take on their rivals in the number 15 Michigan Wolverines. Michigan comes into this game, it's pretty much a do or die situation. They win this game, I think they're probably going to make it into the college football playoff. They lose this game, there's no way they make it in. They have won 5 in a row, so they've been playing well, taking down Maryland, Northwestern, Purdue, Michigan State, and Washington, but with very narrow wins over teams like Purdue and Northwestern, I am a little bit concerned about what we're going to see from the Wolverines here against a premium level opponent. In their 45-20 win against Maryland, they looked excellent. I mean, we liked what we saw from Bryce Underwood. 16 of 23, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Great work there. The running game was also going. It did take them 50 carries to get to 228 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns, but that's still not a bad day. They didn't turn the ball over at all, making no mistakes there. So a very good look there for Michigan. They did what they were supposed to do, and that was earn a blowout win. So we'll see if they can keep it rolling here. Defensively, they gave up 20 points. That's not a terrible day. Generated 1 turnover, gave up 276 passing yards and a passing touchdown. That's not a great look. Now, Maryland didn't get too many chances to really try and establish the run, so they didn't get too tested by the run in this game, but they are going to get severely tested by the run here as they go up against Ohio State. So looking at the numbers, guys, we see Michigan has dipped a little bit. They're getting 9.5 points. We've got a total of 43.5. Ohio State's 9-1-1 against the spread this season. Michigan 4-7 against the spread. We're siding with Ohio State now, especially that it's under 10. This game means a ton for Ohio State as the Buckeyes have fallen to Michigan 4 straight years in a row. Ohio State is clearly the better all-around squad in comparison to the young Wolverines, and we think we'll see that play out over 4 quarters in this matchup. Ohio State has been the best overall team in the nation given their strength on both sides of the ball, and the Buckeyes have been incredible on defense, where Ohio State ranks first in the nation yards allowed. Michigan actually ranks a very respectable 37th in the nation offensive output, but we're skeptical the Wolverines will be able to consistently move the ball on Ohio State. We like the Buckeyes to frustrate Michigan into making poor decisions like we saw from the Wolverines in their 5-turnover game the other week against Northwestern. Take Ohio State to break their losing streak against Michigan as the Buckeyes go on to win and cover in this one in a big way. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Clemson Tigers going on the road to take on the South Carolina Gamecocks. Clemson 6-5 on the season. It's been a pretty disappointing year for them overall. They came into this year a highly touted program, and things have just fallen apart. They have won their last 3 games, taking down Florida State. A good win there, a 1-point win at Louisville, and then last week a 45-10 walkover win against Furman. That was obviously a foregone conclusion there, but they did get that win at Louisville, so they've got something to hang their hats on this season, but it hasn't been an amazing year. Cade Klubnik, not really as advertised. 22 of 34 in that game, 187 yards. The running game is what won him the game. Adam Randall, 105 yards and 15 carries and 2 rushing touchdowns. It was also as close as a football game can possibly get. So let's not act like they, blew them out or anything like that. They won by 1 point. Despite turning the ball over once, the defense did have a very good day. Did give up 1 touchdown pass and 214 yards to the air. Also gave up 171 yards and a touchdown there on the ground. So it was not some monster day for the Clemson defense. They were not that dominant. They did force a turnover, so well played, but it's just not an amazing performance there by Clemson. I need to see a lot more from this team. They are 6-5 on the season, so they have guaranteed themselves bowl eligibility. They're also 34th in the nation, giving up 21 points per game. They're 59th in offense too, so not exactly amazing here as they head to South Carolina to take on the Gamecocks, who at 4-7 on the year have also not had a great time. They're 1-7 in the SEC. They're coming off a blowout win there over Coastal Carolina. Their last game against a real opponent, though, was a barn burner. They do eventually lose 31-30 there at number 3 Texas A&M. That was certainly an opportunity missed. They're going to want that one back. They played really well. We liked what Sellers did, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, That one interception, that was not great. The running game was working very, very well, 121 yards on 33 carries, and this all coming against an undefeated opponent. It was just a very, very good game. They come up 1 point short, devastated. They ended up with a couple interceptions there against Marcel Reed. They generated a total of 4 turnovers in the game and still managed to lose by 1. That is brutal, brutal stuff. They shut down the run. They just couldn't stop the pass at all. So we'll see what they can do here against Cade Klubnik and these Clemson Tigers. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Now, looking at the numbers here, the Gamecocks are 2.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 46.5 in this game. Clemson, they're 4-7 against the spread this year. South Carolina is 6-5 against the spread, and that is a little part of the reason why we're taking South Carolina here -2.5. They are much better than the record would indicate, as the Gamecocks pushed top 10 opponents like Alabama and Texas A&M right to the end in losses over the last month. South Carolina is the victim of a brutally tough schedule, and it's a shame the Gamecocks won't be reaching bowl eligibility even with a win. This is the Super Bowl for South Carolina this season as they try to close things out with a win over their rival. It's been a very disappointing season for Clemson, and given the Tigers reached bowl eligibility in their last outing, they don't really have much to play for in this game, so I think we're going to see South Carolina absolutely lay the smackdown in this one. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the number 5 Texas Tech Red Raiders going on the road to take on West Virginia. Now, Texas Tech, they come into this game 10-1 on the year. They've been cruising, winning 4 in a row after that 4-point loss at Arizona State. They shut out Oklahoma State 42-0. They beat Kansas State 43-20. A big win there over number 7 BYU, 29-7. Impressive stuff there. And then a 48-9 win there against UCF. So they've been playing really, really well and taking care of business. How locked in will they be for their last game of the season? We will have to wait and see. This team has put themselves in a fantastic position right now. They've had a great, great year in their 48-9 win over UCF. Obviously, the Knights have not had a very good season, but Texas Tech did exactly what they wanted. They got multiple quarterbacks, lots and lots of reps, and nobody was making any meaningful mistakes. The running game looked dominant as well. 205 yards on 35 carries and 5 rushing touchdowns. No turnovers in that game. They really just pumped themselves up, guaranteed themselves as good of a position as you could possibly ask for. Defensively, they looked excellent against a mediocre UCF Knights team. So yeah, not a lot of negatives. They generated a couple turnovers, nothing too crazy, but giving up only 9 points in a college football game is pretty bonkers. They're 4th in the nation, giving up 12.3 points per game, so they have certainly been playing well. They have let some teams stick around recently, though, like Kansas State. They did blow out Kentucky, kind of let Houston be semi in the game, so we'll see what they can do in this one, going on the road to take on the West Virginia Mountaineers, who at 4-7 on the year haven't had a great time. They won't be reaching bowl eligibility. They're fresh off a disappointing win there, or loss there at Arizona State. Disappointing to not come away with the win there. They lose that one 25-23. They played some good games against some good teams, winning there at Houston. They played a very tough game there at BYU and kept that competitive, although they did lose. They beat Pitt earlier in the season, so this team has shown the ability to be pretty competitive. Scotty Fox Jr. coming off an excellent day. He was picked off once, but also passed for 353 yards and 2 touchdowns. So a solid day from him. The running game did not do much, so that is a bit of a concern in this one. But overall, they did a good job taking care of the ball. Only that one interception, maybe that is what the difference was, but they kept this game very, very tight against a good Arizona State team. Defensively, they did give up 3 passing touchdowns, but only 270 yards through the air. The running game, they did not really let the Sun Devils running game get going too much either. It took them 40 carries to get to 123 yards, so that was good, and they forced a turnover. So overall, a pretty solid day there for West Virginia. They come into this one 100th in the nation, giving up 29.2 points per game, but they've looked a lot better over their last couple weeks. So we like what we're seeing right now from the Mountaineers, and they're getting 23.5 points in this game. We've got a total of 52.5. Texas Tech is 10-1 against the spread this season, but West Virginia is 7-4 against the spread, and I actually like the Mountaineers here getting 23.5 points. That's a lot of points. They've been playing their best ball of the year over the past month. I expect a big effort from them here in this regular season home finale as they try and play spoiler. Over the past month, we've seen wins from West Virginia against Houston and Colorado, along with very competitive home losses against TCU and Arizona State. This is a ton of points to give West Virginia at home, where the Mountaineers have played better ball than on the road. We've been very high on Texas Tech this season, don't get me wrong, but this could be a tricky spot for the Red Raiders going against an opponent they might not be taking as seriously as they should. I like Texas Tech to get the win, obviously, but I think West Virginia with this large amount of points is the side you want to be on. Next on the docket here, guys, we're looking at the Colorado Buffaloes going on the road to take on the Kansas State Wildcats. Now, Colorado comes into this game 3-8 on the season, so not exactly killing it. They've lost 4 straight games, losing in a blowout against Utah, a blowout against Arizona, a 7-point loss there at West Virginia, and then a 42-17 loss last week against Arizona State. And that was a home game for Colorado, too. So now they got to go on the road to finish off their season against Kansas State. They will not be bowl eligible this season, and I mean, they very clearly don't deserve it. We didn't like anything we saw in terms of quarterback play last week. I mean, I guess they didn't throw the ball to the other team, but 165 yards and 1 passing touchdown, completing 20 of 39 passes. Pretty bleak. The running game, I guess, did something. 30 carries for 135 yards and 1 touchdown. That's okay. But they fumbled the ball away once, and just overall, you scored 17 points in a college football game. That is not generally going to put you in a position to win anything. So we'll see what they can do here in their last game of the season, but I'm not expecting miracles. Defensively, last week they gave up 42 points. Maybe slowed down the pass a little bit, but got destroyed by the run, giving up 355 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. Arizona State did fumble the ball away 3 times. Now, I don't know if we want to chalk all of that up to Colorado's defense or just something to carelessness by Arizona State, but I'm not loving what I'm seeing from the Buffaloes right now. And this season in general has been a pretty bad one. They're 115th in the nation, giving up 31.1 points per game. That's embarrassing. They're taking on a Kansas State Wildcats team that is 5-6 on the season. They're fresh off a 51-47 loss against number 13 Utah, number 12 Utah. Guys, that was a tough one. They probably should have won that game, to be honest. They end up losing by 4 on the road against an elite level opponent, and yeah, they played well. I mean, Avery Johnson didn't have a banner day throwing the ball necessarily. 102 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but Joe Jackson almost won this game almost single-handed. He had 24 carries for 293 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. They had 472 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns on the ground. Crazy work. They did all this without fumbling the ball away once. That's nuts. Against a very good Utah Utes team. So they do take the 4-point loss, but it is a moral victory for sure. Defensively, obviously, they gave it 51 points. So that was not a good look. They couldn't stop the run either, although they made it a lot harder on Utah than Utah made it on them. Also, Devin Dampier is just a much better quarterback than Avery Johnson. I don't think that's really, really not up for consideration right now. That just seems like an objective truth. But we liked what we saw from Kansas State in that game. Over the course of the season, they've put up okay numbers, especially offensively. They're very good. The defense does lack a little bit of something, but we'll see what they can do here. They are playing at home to finish off their season, and they have bowl eligibility at stake. They are 17-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 46.5 in this one. Colorado is only 3-7-1 against the spread this year. Kansas State is 5-6 against the spread, and we're going to take Kansas State in this one at -17. -17.5, I don't care. Colorado looked incredibly porous on defense in their last outing, losing to a shorthanded Arizona State team, 17-42. They gave up 588 yards to Arizona State, and the Buffaloes look like they've lost a lot of their fight. They're 3-8 overall. They don't have anything left to play for. Major issues on both sides of the ball, and this contest has blowout written all over it. We like Kansas State to make things interesting against Utah. We liked Kansas State to make things interesting against Utah last week. The Wildcats nearly put off the upset, eventually losing in the end, but it was super close. K-State brings in the edge on both sides of the ball. I think the Wildcats come through at home with a blowout win and cover for us in this one. And to be honest, guys, this has a chance to be our lock of the day. Next on the docket, we're looking at the North Carolina Tar Heels going on the road, kind of, to take on the NC State Wolfpack. Now, UNC comes in this game 4-7 on the year, a pretty disappointing season. They're fresh off a rivalry loss, a 32-25 loss there against Duke at 4-7. They are not going to be bowl eligible this season, and now they got to go on the road to finish off their season. And the last time they went on the road, they lost 28-12 there at Wake Forest, and it has not been a good traveling situation this season for the Tar Heels. So it's been pretty bleak in that loss against the Blue Devils. I guess they were competitive, eventually losing that game by 7 points, but I mean, Lopez, 1 touchdown, 204 yards through the air, 21 of 27. Not a bad day for him. The running game was fine as well. They ended up with 101 yards and 25 carries and 2 touchdowns, but that was not enough to keep up with Duke. They didn't turn the ball over either. So overall, a solid day there offensively for North Carolina, but defensively, couldn't really stop the pass, definitely could not stop the run here, so maybe not set up to have a ton of success against a pretty good NC State team. We'll see what they can do, but giving up 90 yards and 22 carries to Nate Shepard and 3 rushing touchdowns there to Anderson Castle. Not a great look. They also forced 0 turnovers from Duke, and yeah, North Carolina not having anything close to the season of their dreams. I mean, they come into this one currently 53rd in the nation in defense, and 122nd in the nation, averaging 19.3 points per game for themselves. Yikes. That is very, very bleak. And they're going on the road to take on NC State. The Wolfpack come into this game fresh off a 21-11 win there over Florida State. They haven't exactly had a ton of amazing wins this year, although they're playing better down the stretch this season. They did knock off Wake Forest early in the year, played a very competitive game against Duke. Their signature win this season was that 48-36 win there over number 8 Georgia Tech. That was crazy. They followed up with a laying an egg against Miami, but a nice bounce back win there over Florida State last week. A Florida State team that you would think would be a similar level to them, but a very good work there by the Wolfpack. 2 touchdown passes, 152 yards for CJ Bailey. The running game did what it needed to do, 134 yards and a rushing touchdown in that one. They turned the ball over 0 times, and they forced 4 turnovers themselves. Really limited the passing game, did a great job of slowing down kind of slowing down the run. Didn't stop the run, but generated 2 fumble recoveries. So overall, a very solid day out there for NC State. They did a lot of great work in that game, and they've got to be pretty proud of what they did there, making themselves bowl eligible there with their 6th win. They are 104th in the nation in points against, so not a monster defense, but you can see when they've played teams at their level, the defense has looked quite a bit better. So we'll see what they can do here at home. They're 7-point favorites. We've got a total of 48.5. North Carolina, they are 5-5-1 against the spread. NC State, they are 5-6 against the spread. I like NC State in this one at -7. We've been very low in North Carolina this season, and the Tar Heels have been awful on the offensive side of the ball. 130th in the nation in yards per contest. North Carolina doesn't have much to play for other than pride. They stand 4-7 overall, not going to be in any kind of bowl game. NC State has been less consistent than we'd like to see, but when playing up to their potential, the Wolfpack have shown a high ceiling on the offensive side. We like the all-around performance NC State showed in their last outing, getting past Florida State. NC State has been a really solid team at home also, and I think that continues in this one. I am not sure how many of these guys that are playing for Belichick are going to be too excited about coming back next season. Rolling right along, we've got the Northwestern Wildcats going on the road to taking the Illinois Fighting Illini. Now, Northwestern, they're 6-5 on the season, so they are bowl eligible thanks to a kind of crazy 38-35 win over, a Minnesota team that's been, maybe slightly better than we would have expected this season. We'll see. But yeah, they played a close game against Michigan, got blown out by USC. So we'll see what the Wildcats can do in this one. Maybe a little bit of a letdown after becoming bowl eligible. We'll see if that happens. But in that 3-point win over the Golden Gophers, we liked what we saw from Preston Stone. 305 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. Very good work there. Was it against a great defense? I would have to say no, but we'll see what they can do here. They did a great job moving the ball on the ground as well. So overall, a very good day offensively there for Northwestern. You put up 38 points in a game. That's not too bad. You move the ball through the air. You move the ball on the ground. No big negatives. They did fumble it away once, so there was that one mistake, but defensively, that was not great. Drake Lindsey passed for 264 yards and 4 touchdowns against them. 0 interceptions also, so a very good day there. They didn't let much get going on the ground, although the Golden Gophers didn't really try to get much going on the ground in that one. Not a great day defensively there from Northwestern, and over the course of the season, they've been okay. They're 34th in the nation, giving up 21 points per game, but there have been some spots, like against USC, where they really, really got torn up there. So they also got obliterated by Oregon, so not great. Not great. So we'll see what they do here on the road, going up against an Illinois team that didn't exactly live up to what they were hoping for this season. They're fresh off a 27-10 loss at Wisconsin that really not great. They are 7-4 on the season, though. They've got some solid wins over mediocre opponents, but couldn't really break through with that monster win against a big opponent. They've beaten Duke this season. They did knock off number 21 USC by 2 points earlier in the year. So we'll see what they can do this time. Definitely in a bounce back spot after that 27-10 loss against Wisconsin. Altmaier was okay. 21-35, 248 yards is not a bad look. They couldn't get the running game going at all either, though. So that was bad. They couldn't stop the run. That was the biggest problem. They didn't turn the ball over, so that was good. That helped the game be closer. But Wisconsin ground out 209 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns against them on 44 carries. That's tough. That's tough to beat. If you can't stop the run at all, you're gonna have a pretty rough time. So we'll see what they can do against this one. Definitely will have to try and stop the run here against Northwestern. But Northwestern over the course of the season has been a pretty good running team. So keep an eye on that. Looking at the numbers for this game, Illinois, they're 7.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 44.5 in this one. Northwestern 6-4-1 against the spread. Illinois 7-4 against the spread. I actually like Illinois here at -7.5 a good amount. They had high expectations coming into the season. They will come up well short of their ultimate goal, but this veteran team is very tough, especially at home. They're 5-1 at home this season. Their only loss coming against Ohio State. We've seen really nice home wins for the Illini against solid opponents like USC and Western Michigan. In their last 2 outings to home, Illinois has won in blowout fashion against Rutgers and Maryland. Northwestern's defense didn't look as strong as we were expecting last week, but the Wildcats were able to come through in the end, beating Minnesota there. If Northwestern brings a similar level of play into this matchup, we have a hard time seeing the Wildcats keeping pace with Illinois in this game. I think the Illini could just run up like some ungodly number on them in this one. So we'll see if that happens, but I'm definitely siding with Illinois in this one at -7.5. Next one we're going to take a look at is the Penn State Nittany Lions going on the road to taking the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Penn State, they're 5-6 on the season, so 1 win away from bowl eligibility. And they have won their last 2 in a row. They got a 28-10 blowout win there at Michigan State, and then followed that up with a 37-10 blowout win over Nebraska. So playing some of their best football here at the end of the season. They've got a chance to end up playing in a bowl game here if they can keep it rolling. We liked what we saw in terms of quarterback play last week. Completing 11 of 12 passes for 181 yards and a touchdown is great, but we all know the running game here is the name of the game for Penn State, and they looked great. Allen, 25 carries, 160 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. As a team, they had 231 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns on 39 carries. That is elite work. And putting up 37 points on Nebraska, that's a solid day, guys. A solid day there from the Nittany Lions. They played great in this one. We'll see if they can keep things rolling. They only allowed 10 points there defensively. They did give up 131 rushing yards, but gave up almost nothing there in the past game. 187 yards, no touchdowns. Very good work. They didn't generate any turnovers, but that doesn't really matter if you're only going to give up 10 points. It was a very good day there from Penn State's defense. And in the offense, too, and over the course of the season, they've been very good defensively, giving up 20.1 points per game. That's 26 in the entire nation. So the Nittany Lions have been having a pretty good time. I can't really say exactly the same thing for their opponent in this one. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights are 5-6 on the season. They are also 1 game away from bowl eligibility, but when you look at the teams they've beaten this year, their best win was over Maryland, and they did win that game, so props to them. Their last game was at Ohio State, and they lost that one 42-9, so that was probably not a great feeling. Yeah, obviously you're playing the best team in the nation, but nothing was working. They passed the ball for 81 yards in the whole game. Yikes. Only ended up with 66 yards on the ground. We didn't hate what we saw from Antoine Raymond. I mean, 15 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Nothing terrible. They turned the ball over once, and they just had zero answers there defensively for what Ohio State wanted to do. They gave up a ton to the pass, a ton to the run, and they were never really in this game. It was pretty brutal. Rutgers has not had the best season. They've also not done well against any good opponents. Does Penn State qualify as a good opponent? Well, with what we've been seeing recently, definitely seems like it. Also, Rutgers, they are 115th in the nation, giving up 31.1 points per game. You don't love to see that. So looking at the numbers, guys, Rutgers is getting 13.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 55.5. Penn State's 4-7 against the spread. Rutgers is 5-6 against the spread. I like Penn State here, especially under 2 touchdowns. They've started playing some really great ball over the last few weeks. The Nittany Lions are 1 way away from bowl eligibility. In their last month or so of games, we've seen Penn State blow out Michigan State and Nebraska in their last 2 outings, as well as pushing some very good teams to the edge. I think they are in a great spot here to take advantage of a Rutgers team that's taken a step back, losing 6 of their last 8. Their defense has been terrible. They're 118th in the nation in total defense. Penn State's 25th. I think Penn State's going to build off their recent momentum, go on the road, and get this nice solid win and cover and make themselves bowl eligible. Last but certainly not least, we're looking at the Boston College Eagles going on the road to take on the Syracuse Orange. Boston College is 1-10 on the year. They won their season opener 66-10 over Fordham. Since then, no wins. Lost a devastatingly close game against Michigan State, but recently, very close to knocking off number 16 Georgia Tech. That was a 36-34 loss their last time out, but man, did they give it a hell of a run. We loved what we saw from the Eagles in general. Very good quarterback play. 362 yards through the air, 2 passing touchdowns. Turbo Richard, great name, 11 carries, 141 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns there. They turned the ball over 0 times. It was just an excellent performance there from Boston College. They played really well. Offensively, at least. Now, defensively, it didn't look great. They gave up 371 passing yards and a passing touchdown. We also saw them give up 257 rushing yards on 42 carries and 3 rushing touchdowns. So not a lot of monster positives there for Boston College. They did come up with 1 fumble recovery, so there's something there, but they haven't necessarily been a great defensive team or a great team in general this year. They're 128th in the nation in points against, but they have played well their last few games, giving Louisville all they could handle, honestly giving UConn all they could handle too, playing a reasonable game against Notre Dame. They did get blown out by SMU, but then had chances to win there against number 16 Georgia Tech. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road to end their season, taking on the Syracuse Orange, who at 3-8 on the year don't have much left to play for. They just got blown out 70-7 by Notre Dame. That's not a great look. They are back home for this one. The last time they played at home, they lost 27-10 against UNC. Not exactly a great opponent. So we'll see what they can do here against the only winless team in in the ACC, or the only team without a conference win in the ACC. I mean, CJ Carr didn't have to do too much against them. We liked what we saw in terms of running back play more than quarterback play there in their loss against Notre Dame, but no, I can't find any positives really offensively. I mean, you scored 7 points and gave up 70. Like, how am I supposed to spin this in a positive light for Syracuse? Like, they gave up in this game. They did not have anywhere close to the talent level the Irish can muster, and it just all looked very, very bleak for the Orange. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They've been a decent passing team this season, but they're 129th in the nation in points against, and they do not have any momentum coming into this game, losing 7 in a row. So we'll see what they can do here at home. They're getting 3 points. We've got a total of 53.5. Boston College, they're 5-6 against the spread. Syracuse, 4-6-1 against the spread. This might feel wild, but I am taking Boston College here at -3. These have been 2 of the worst teams in the group before this season, but we have more confidence in the Eagles coming into this matchup. It's been a terrible streak for Syracuse. 7 straight losses in blowout fashion ever since they lost their starting quarterback. Syracuse is 120th in the nation in total defense, and we don't see the Orange being able to consistently slow down Boston College. The Eagles, I mean, they have an awful record, don't get me wrong, but at least they've shown some reasonably competitive results over the past couple of months against good opponents. In the last outing, they put up 537 yards of offense against Georgia Tech. That proves to us the Eagles haven't thrown in the towel on their season. I'll take Boston College to get the win and cover in this game. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description. Get over there to stumpthespread.com and take advantage of that Black Friday pricing, guys. It's only going to be going on for a little bit longer. You don't want to miss out. It's the perfect opportunity to get in the door as a first-time member or to just add on to your current membership. It's a fantastic time to do that, guys. It doesn't get any cheaper than this. There's also never more sports going on than there are going on right now, so you get maximum bang for your buck. So definitely get in on that if you're interested, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.